we have a major update regarding the Oklahoma City Thunder and the award race going on right now for guys like Jalen Williams, Lu Dort, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. As if you guys know, I made a video the other day talking about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, how the MVP is pretty much wraps when we were looking at the awards that we know of so far, the votes going into it. As there's a whole tracker, once again, I can put that link in the comment section as well if you guys want to follow along with that. But of confirmed votes that we do know are out there, whether that happened on a podcast, they went on First Take and said it, they publicly announced like, yes, I have a vote. Yes, this is who I'm voting for. If they wrote an article and they know they have a vote and everything, stuff like that where we know, okay, they for sure voted. These are who they voted for right here. Boom. This is what we know. And so far with what we know, around, almost a third of the votes for every single category are in that we know of. It's looking good for the Oklahoma City Thunder, but depending on what happens, it has huge implications for the team going forward, whether that's Dub making an all-NBA team, Dort making an all-defensive team, what happens with Shai, all this good stuff out there. So I'm going to break down what we know regarding the vote tally right now, why they deserve to win these awards, and what exactly happens if they do come out being, if Dub is an all-NBA player, if Dort wins Defensive Player of the Year. All this good stuff, right? Before we get into all that, though, just a quick moment to recognize that around, 9% of you guys, 283 you guys that are subscribed to this channel, have that bell notification turned on, all right? And then, 6.2% of you guys, 188, have it enabled for YouTube notifications as well. Pretty much no matter what, you're not missing a single minute of the action. Playoffs are here. If you guys don't want to miss a single minute of the playoff action regarding the Oklahoma City Thunder on their path to the NBA Finals, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification button real quick. Those are completely free to do, don't cost you anything. With that out of the way, let's go ahead, get into talking about it a little bit here with what exactly we know, all right? First thing first, what we know is this right here. This is the vote tally for all NBA, all right? This is what we got so far, and pretty much no shockers, especially at the top with Jokic, Giannis, Shai, and Tatum pretty much being, we all know they're going to be all-NBA first team. They all should be unanimous. It comes down to, okay, who's going to be that final member? Donovan Mitchell leads the way of 10 votes right now. Then LeBron's right behind him. Looking like it's going to be a race between those two people. I think Donovan Mitchell should get it over him. My personal opinion. It's whatever, okay? Looking at the rest of the people down this list as well, looking at it, okay, second team votes, Anthony Edwards, Steph Curry, Evan Mobley, no problem with those whatsoever. I think they're second team players, no doubt about that. Then it gets tricky for the third team players, what's going to happen there. Look at this, Jalen Williams has 11 votes for all NBA third team. And I think majority of his votes will be coming from, being a third team member. I don't think anyone's going to vote for him for second team or first team. He needs to get as many third team votes as he can, because there's going to be 10 guys that are going to be bouncing around first and second team votes, as you see with LeBron, Steph Curry, Anthony Edwards, those guys up at the top. They're all going to be bouncing around for those votes right there. So it's going to make it very interesting for Jalen Williams, where he pretty much has to get, I would say 40 to 60, 70, somewhere in that range of third team votes if he wants a chance to make the All-NBA third team. And that'd be huge. And it's not like he doesn't deserve it. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the stats that he put up this season. They were absurd. These are the stats that got him an All-Star appearance as well. 21 points a game, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, almost a block a game, stealing a half a game. He's played phenomenal defense. He should be on an all-defensive team as well. 48% shooting from the field, 36% from three. I would have liked him to shoot 38%. I think he has that potential to potentially be a 50, 40, 90 kind of guy for a club. I think he'd still reach that. Keep in mind, this is only his third year. He just turned 24 not too long ago. Happy belated birthday to J-Dub there. 6'6". Some, key standout stats there. 40% on corner threes. 78% of his threes are assisted. But only 29% of his shots are three-pointers. So the fact, it's very similar to Shai. So the fact that he averaged almost 22 points a game and, not even 3/10 of his shots were threes this year, that's impressive right there. It's showing he's working the mid-range and getting to the paint, driving in, and finishing through contact right there. That's what it's showing. So he completely deserves to be on an all-NBA team and all-defensive team. No doubt about that in my mind. I think it's going to be a little bit close. All right, it's going to be a tight little race for all-NBA for him. He has a chance. I think all-defensive for sure. Now, this does have implications for what the Thunder can do money-wise. If he's on an all-NBA team, before his extension is available, he can make more money. He can make 30% of the salary cap, Right now, he can only make like 20 to 25%, somewhere in that range. It might be 25 is where it caps out. I'm sure now he's an all-star. We would give him the max right there. Chet as well, that 20 to 25 range. We might not give him the max there due to the injury concerns. And, try to convince him like, yo, just take a little bit of a pay cut. Take take 20% of the salary cap. Still making a good amount of money. Okay, in the future, we can bump this up right here for your next extension. Just want to keep this team together so we can for sure get some rings right here in the future. I could see that happening. J-Dub could do the same thing as well, but now he can for sure get that 25% because I know he's going to command that being an all-star right there. But if he's an all-NBA player, he can make 30% of the cap. So that's what the implications go for Jalen Williams if he makes an all-NBA team. Now, the second thing we're going to look at right here. These are the votes for Defensive Player of the Year. And this is a thing that we have been pushing as a fan base, and a lot of people out there in the media world have been pushing as well for Lu Dort for Defensive Player of the Year. If you look at that right now, when you take in first place votes, he is tied for second place right now. He's tied for second. That is impressive. 4 first place votes, 1 second place vote, and 3 third place votes. I think people are starting to realize a little bit like, man, he really is a good defender. And reason being that I still don't know if he'll win Defensive Player of the Year. I think it's going to be extremely close. I think it's going to be a really close race this year for Defensive Player of the Year. One of the closest we've ever seen is due to the fact that he doesn't really have the counting stats. We can go ahead and take a look at his stats here right now, okay? Offensively, we're not going to really look at much there. We'll look at what people consider the defensive stats. 4 rebounds a game, half a block a game, and a steal a game. Nothing that jumps off the table at you, all right? The problem with that is people are only going to look at these counting stats right here. The steals, blocks, and rebounds a game. And offensively, we can talk about how good of a player he is. He had the best three-point shooting percentage on the Thunder this year at 41%, which really surprised me. But anyways, we're just talking about his defense right now. The thing that surprised me about him the entire year was the fact that people still don't realize how much of an impact he has, okay? They're finally starting to realize that now with him getting Defensive Player of the Year votes and him, probably being all defensive first team. And if he isn't, that is blasphemous. That is a crime. He has been robbed, absolutely bamboozled. So he should be all, defensive first team right there, all defense. All right. First team, no second team. He should win Defensive Player of the Year. It is going to be a close race. I wouldn't be mad if it goes to Mobley or Dyson Daniels. Would not be mad about that whatsoever. It's just one of those things looking at it. No one pays attention to the advanced metrics. No one really goes in and looks like, oh man, he's holding his opponents to 10 points less per game when he's guarding them. No one pays attention to that stuff. They only really, majority voters only look at the steals and blocks, and they don't watch the games enough to realize Lu Dort is the best perimeter defender in the NBA. He truly is. And it's because he doesn't average 2 steals a game like some other players. He's the one tipping passes that end up in the hands of, teammates, and they get a credit for the steal, but he doesn't. It's stuff like that happens for him. If he does win Defensive Player of the Year, though, what could happen is he could demand more money, when he's becoming a free agent, and with that extension, and money's going to be tight now, where it's going to be one of those things you have to decide who do you keep. Lu Dort, Cason Wallace, Caruso. You got to choose out of those 3 guys. Who do you keep as your defensive head? Who's going to be your defensive mastermind for this team? And if Lu Dort wins the Defensive Player of the Year, he might be coveted a little bit more, and he might demand a little bit more money, where it'll be really hard to keep a guy like Lu Dort. So even though it would be great for him to win Defensive Player of the Year, you got to think about it financially, and in the long run, it makes it extremely more difficult for the Thunder to keep him. It's the same thing with Jalen Williams if he makes an All-NBA team this year, which he should. I think he can. It's going to be really close for him as well. Those 2 races are going to be extremely close. And then finally, we can go in the MVP race. I just want to give you guys a quick little update on this, what we know so far. 30 total votes so far here. Shai has 19 of the first place votes. 19 of the 30 first place votes. You can go ahead and count up, okay, he's not getting the other second place votes right there. He should get 11 more second place votes. That should help him out. Boom. And then Jokic should get 5 more second place votes. It's just one of those weird things. For some reason, they haven't put it in there because they haven't announced who their second place guy is, even though, everyone can know the only people getting first place votes will be Shai and Jokic. We know that's the race now, so you can go ahead and calculate that number right there. But it's looking very likely for Shai to win MVP. Once we get to 50 votes and we know the gap and everything at that point, we should know a little bit more right there and be like, yeah, this is what's going on. Shai's got it locked in the back. But there's your little update for the, awards and everything going on in the NBA. The Thunder are filling up the sheets for almost every single award out there. Defensive Player of the Year, All NBA, All Defensive Teams, MVP. No Rookie of the Year race this year. No, Most Improved Player. No Sixth Man. No Coach of the Year, as it was kind of expected for the Thunder to go on this tear this year. So Mark Daigneault was kind of out there. Sam Presti can definitely win Executive of the Year this year. It's just one of those things where you can expect the Thunder to be all over the awards list. You can definitely expect that. It's just keep in mind the implications that happens if Jalen Williams is an All-NBA player. He can then make 30% of the salary cap. Keep in mind if Lu Dort wins Defensive Player of the Year. He only has a contract for 2-3 more seasons. After that, if he keeps up this defensive level of play and takes in another Defensive Player of the Year or a few more all-defensive team nods, he could, ask for more money, and it might be one of those things we just can't financially keep him anymore, and he walks. There are huge implications that comes down to this if they do win these awards. However, in the short term, let's appreciate it. If they do win it, let's celebrate them, and then when that time comes, we will handle it then. That's my opinion on that. That's all I got for this video. Let me know if you think Jalen Williams is going to make that All-NBA third team, spot right there, and if you think Lu Dort's going to win Defensive Player of the Year. If you don't, tell me your reason why and who you got winning those, spots and awards right there. That's all I got. See you guys in the next one.